How is the earth described going strictly off of what the Bible says? First, let's talk about the historical time frame. What did people believe the earth to be back in the times when the Bible was written? Well, all through ancient culture, they all had generally the same depiction of earth. It's only now that modern science says it's a sphere. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and in Genesis 1:6 says God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from above from the waters below." In the Lexham English Bible, which is translated most accurately from the Hebrew, they don't even use firmament. They say vaulted dome. In case you're wondering what a vaulted dome is, in architecture, this is a vaulted dome. In the Complete Jewish Bible, also translated very accurately from the Hebrew, they say dome in this translation. These words, firmament, vaulted dome, and dome, were brought to us by the Hebrew word rakia, which originates from a word raka, which means to hammer out or spread out. Like ironworkers do, can you join him in spreading out the skies, hard as a mirror of cast bronze? Hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong and as molten-looking glass? The firmament is supposed to be a clue to us. In Psalm 19:1, David writes, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork." And in the Complete Jewish Bible, it says, "dome of the sky." So if you think firmament just means sky, well, I doubt that David was saying the sky of the sky here. In Joshua, the sun and the moon were commanded to stand still. We're talking about a guy who is communicating with God, hearing from God, performing miracles through him, saying, "Sun and moon, stand still." Didn't say, "Earth, stand still." Could you imagine the cataclysm that would occur if that did just stop spinning and moving all of a sudden? Yikes. Oh, and also, while we're here, the earth was created before the sun. So what did the earth rotate around before the sun was created? Speaking of created, look at this. Is turned as clay to the seal, as in like a signet ring. So look at this shape here. Now imagine that being like earth. Here, I found one where it's actually earth being pressed down. Look at this nice ice wall around here. And was it Augustin Picard who went up to the stratosphere, the first man to go, and he looked down and said, "The earth looks like a flat disc with an upturned edge"? Modern science says that we live on a ball that's tilted, wobbling, whirling, spinning, and rotating around a sun, when the Bible simply says that the earth is on its foundations and cannot and will not ever be moved. All through ancient history, before these cultures even had an opportunity to talk to each other, they all had the same depiction of earth in their minds as they would draw them out or write about earth. And before they were able to talk to each other? So don't you think that they would be hearing from a divine source? What are the odds? So the men who wrote the Bible, they had this idea of earth in their mind anyway. So at the very least, they were believing this. Whether or not you believe they heard from God on this, but either way, is the Bible true or is it not? Just like Psalm 19:1, Romans 1:20 says, "For ever since the world was created, people have seen the earth and sky. Through everything God made, they can clearly see his invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature. So they have no excuse for not knowing God." So all the things that the Bible says about the earth, go test them yourself. Walk outside and stand there and say, is the sun and moon in their circuit like the Bible says? Are they moving and not me like the Bible says? Can the earth not be moved like the Bible says? Is there a firmament above that showeth his handiwork like the Bible says? Is it a vaulted dome like the Bible says? Is it as clay under the seal like the Bible says? Or is the book just hogwash?